And the one thing that was really, really killing it for us was cold outreach, right? We
Mm.
would have, and at the time, I didn't even call it a call center because it was just like, we just sort of pieced it together, just having like VAs, and then we started replacing them with experienced, people who had experience in the call center space. And then kind of, it replaced our basic phone system, replaced the cell phone with an actual professional dialer
Hmm.
and so forth, and just really learned the system and then developed an entire marketing agency based off of that. Then realized, what clients really are appreciating is when they have their own ability to actually own the actual system itself, like own the platform, own their ability to control every aspect of it. And so
Hmm.
that's how we got here, was basically like it works, but it works even better if you control all of it. And that's what we help people do now, which is build out high performance, fully managed call centers. It didn't come from the world of real estate. I have a lot of friends and family who are, real estate agents, and so I'm very familiar with the model. I do some real estate investing, so the concept is definitely not foreign to me. It's kind of been part of my family and upbringing since I was a kid. So for me, this comes out of having to generate leads for the other companies that I've owned, been associated with, and then have been hired, to help in the past. So, I've been in mostly in the home services space. I've owned HVAC, an HVAC company, a solar company, and then just out of necessity, I had to become sort of a lead generation expert because these companies, I started them from scratch with no existing pipeline and had to get leads somewhere. And we arrived at this whole call center thing because we tried everything else. And while everything works to an extent, I'm not saying that, there's bad forms of advertising. I mean, there probably are, but
Yeah.
let's be honest, there probably are. But I always tell people, like, look, everything can work, right? It's just like it's whatever the thing is that you actually pour your heart and soul into. Like that's the thing that's
Mhm,
probably going to
mhm,
work. It's like you actually have to either love the thing or trust someone that they're really awesome at that thing, right? So one
mhm.
of those two things one of those two conditions had better be met. Otherwise, very unlikely that it's probably going to work out. So I got here because we were doing everything else. Everything else was okay. The juice was not worth the proverbial squeeze. And the one thing that was really, really killing it for us was cold outreach, right? We
Mm.
would have, and at the time, I didn't even call it a call center because it was just like, we just sort of pieced it together, just having like VAs, and then we started replacing them with experienced, people who had experience in the call center space. And then kind of, it replaced our basic phone system, replaced the cell phone with an actual professional dialer
Mhm.
and so forth, and just really learned the system and then developed an entire marketing agency based off of that. Then realized, what clients really are appreciating is when they have their own ability to actually own the actual system itself, like own the platform, own their ability to control every aspect of it. And so
Mhm.
that's how we got here, was basically like it works, but it works even better if you control all of it. And that's what we help people do now, which is build out high performance, fully managed call centers.
What is a call center?
Yeah, that's a really valid question. I think a lot of people either, have like a, misguided connotation as to what it can be, thinking it's like a sweatshop in the Philippines, which it could be. That's not
Right.
what we do. But that
Yeah.
is one version of one. That's just not what we do. So for us, think of it as really just an appointment setting system made up of humans who are professional call center dialers. That's all they do. They're trained for that sort of a thing with existing experience in your existing industry, in this case, obviously, real estate. And
Mhm.
we provide them with the right types of data to call. And their job is to book appointments using a high power predictive dialer with the right training, with the right systems, with the right management in place so that they can book you, the real estate agent, in home listing appointments so that you can drive out to the house, meet the homeowner, introduce yourself, and hopefully walk away with a listing.
A long time ago, when I was in graduate school, I worked selling ads for a newspaper. Yeah, like the want ads essentially. And
Hmm.
we would be there and there was an auto dialer and the auto dialer, there would be unfortunately a little gap between when it dialed and when I was able to talk to the person. And 9 times out of 10, the person they knew automatically as soon as there was that gap that this was a sales call and they would just hang
Yep.
up. So has that technology gotten better?
No. It hasn't. No, I'm being a little bit facetious, but I'm also being truthful. No, the technology has not gotten better.
Hmm.
It's just you improve the system that because it's not a technology issue. I'll explain why that happens. It happens because it's called a predictive dialer. It's
Hmm.
placing multiple phone calls all at the same time,
Hmm.
generally up to 20 all at once. So
Hmm.
each agent is sitting there with a headset on, and as soon as they hit the go button, the software starts calling up to 20 lines at the same time. Now,
Hmm.
the first person who answers the phone is the first person that gets connected, and they're going to say hello to you. If they're slow, if they're sitting there on Facebook, which happens, I mean, not with my guys, but this is
Yeah.
notorious in the industry. If they're sitting there just kind of twiddling away on Facebook, and then the call connects, and they don't even because they're not paying attention, right? They're not
Hmm.
paying attention, and now there's like a 10, 5 second, 3, 4 second delay. That's
Right.
what happened. That's a system that, or that's a symptom of poor training.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
the technology hasn't changed. It's the training that improved.
All right. And then these people that are answering the phones, like my average client is buying something for 1.5 million.
Mhm,
They generally have a graduate degree and they're very sophisticated.
mhm.
The people that are making these phone calls, are they articulate? Are they well educated? What is the
They don't they
basic?
don't have to be. That's a good question. I know everyone wants me to say, "Oh, yes," but I'm not going to
I don't, yeah, I
fudge.
want you to be
I'm not
truthful.
going to fudge. No, no, I'm going to tell you. No, look, they're not going to sound unsophisticated. I'm not
Yeah,
going to say that,
yeah.
but they're not going to be as sophisticated as you. Okay? I'm being honest. But
Hmm.
that's okay because that's not what we're expecting them to do. We're expecting them just to get your foot in the door with the appointment. As soon as that homeowner starts asking too many questions, that's when they know to pretty much shut it down and be like, you know what? I don't it's perfectly okay for someone to say, like, I actually don't know the answer to that question. But you
Right.
know who does? Is Andrea. And Andrea is actually available a little bit later tomorrow or the day after. What time works for her to swing by your house just to see if, maybe she can help you guys out? Is 2 o'clock okay? 4 o'clock? What works best for
Right.
you?
What is a skip trace?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Skip tracing. It's just a fancy term for going out there and just checking to make sure that all the data points are accurate. Like, is the name accurate? If not, fix it. Is the phone number accurate? No, fix it. Email, address, the usual stuff that we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We go out there and we validate the actual accuracy of those data points. I have an entire team of 12 guys in Pakistan. That's all they do. So when
Hmm.
we carefully filter data, that's the first step is carefully filtering the data for the right type of data you're looking for. Maybe like you want expired listings or maybe you want FISBOs, whatever the case is, or both. Right. So whatever the case is, we acquired the data first, then we send it off to our team in Pakistan. They will then do a combination of different types of skip tracing to validate all the data points
Hmm.
to make sure that you're getting the cleanest possible data so that the agents who we're bringing onto your team, so that the agents have the best, most boiled down data possible so that they're not just spraying and praying. Right, like
Right.
that's the old way of doing things is to quote unquote spray and pray. Here
Right.
we're doing it in a much more thoughtful and intentional way. I want to make it really clear, like what we do. I am really abundantly clear with people that you're paying us to build your own call center. It
Mhm.
is yours. We don't. I'm not just saying that just as lip service. I'm not saying that and like, yeah, but you got to pay me this fee and then that fee, and if you stop paying that fee, we shut everything down. Nope, none of that stuff. You're not obligated to once this thing goes live, it's yours. You own it free and clear. We're not on the hook forever. Nothing like that. If you want to get rid of us, get rid of us. There's no contract whatsoever to keep.
Mhm.
We offer management as a convenience because we're really good at it. And my general concept is like I wouldn't want to run something that I don't know how to do. So like
Oh, yeah,
let us do what we do best, and you do what you do best. Let us book you
right,
in home appointments to get listings, and
right.
then you go close the deals, and we'll keep doing what we do. So that's what I think I want people to understand. Like, and this is the perfect way to kind of finish off this, this podcast is for people to like, yes, of course things cost money. I get that, right? That's why you hire, good quality people who know what the hell they're doing. But with that comes the reward, right? And the reward here is quick, fairly quick results. Like these agent, number one, it takes us anywhere between 1 week to maximum two to go live. You
Mhm.
incur no expenses until it goes live. When it goes live, agents are full steam ahead on day number one. So they're booking you appointments for the very next day.
So
So
that's marvelous, Peter. And again, what Peter does is one of the representative services that can happen for realtors. And for those of you that are not in the real estate industry watching, I love to present these sorts of things because it shows the complexity of what it is we end up having to do. And nobody knows what we all do. So here's another aspect to it. Peter, if somebody wants to reach you, how do they get a hold of you? Because I know we have to let you go here.
yeah, no worries. So my company is called Scalify, Scalify. That's the name of the company. But just it's scalifyco.com.
Mhm.
Scalifyco.com.
Excellent. And so I hope that this has been of use to everybody watching. And thank you so much, Peter, for being my guest
Thank
today.
you. Yeah,
Really
I'm
appreciate
excited.
it.
Thank you for having me here.
All
Okay.
right.
Thanks. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, you
You
guys.
too.